Fortinet NSE 5 FortiAnalyzer 6.4 NSE 5_FAS-6.4 Real exam questions are the best preparation material for you to study the test. Share some Fortinet NSE 5_FAS-6.4 exam questions here. 1. On the RAID management page, the disk status is listed as initializing. What does the status initializing indicate about what the FortiAnalyzer is currently doing? A. FortiAnalyzer is ensuring that the parity data of a redundant drive is valid. B. FortiAnalyzer is writing data to a newly added hard drive to restore it to an optimal state. C. FortiAnalyzer is writing to all of its hard drives to make the array fault-tolerant. D. FortiAnalyzer is functioning normally. 2. What is the recommended method of expanding disk space on a FortiAnalyzer VM? A. From the VM host manager, add an additional virtual disk and use the #execute lvm extend command to expand the storage B from the VM host manager. Expand the size of the existing virtual disk C from the VM host manager. Expand the size of the existing virtual disk and use the #execute format disk command to reformat the disk D from the VM host manager. Add an additional virtual disk and rebuild your RAID array. 3. On FortiAnalyzer, what is a wildcard administrator account? A. An account that permits access to members of an LDAP group. B. An account that allows guest access with read-only privileges. C. An account that requires two-factor authentication. D. An account that validates against any user account on a FortiAuthenticator. 4. Which statements are true regarding securing communications between FortiAnalyzer and FortiGate with SSL? Choose 2. A. SSL is the default setting. B. SSL communications are auto-negotiated between the two devices. C. SSL can send logs in real time only. D. SSL encryption levels are globally set on FortiAnalyzer. E. FortiAnalyzer encryption level must be equal to, or higher than, FortiGate. 5. You need to upgrade your FortiAnalyzer firmware. What happens to the logs being sent to FortiAnalyzer from FortiGate during the time FortiAnalyzer is temporarily unavailable? A. FortiAnalyzer uses log fetching to retrieve the logs when back online. B. FortiGate uses the miglogd process to cache the logs. C. The logfiled process stores logs in offline mode. D. Logs are dropped. 6. What statements are true regarding FortiAnalyzer's treatment of high availability dusters? Choose 2. A. FortiAnalyzer distinguishes different devices by their serial number. B. FortiAnalyzer receives logs from D devices in a duster. C. FortiAnalyzer receives BGS only from the primary device in the cluster. D. FortiAnalyzer only needs to know key serial number of the primary device in the cluster. It automatically discovers the other devices. 7. What can you do on FortiAnalyzer to restrict administrative access from specific locations? A. Configure trusted hosts for that administrator. B. Enable geo-location services on accessible interface. C. Configure two-factor authentication with a remote radius server. D. Configure an ADOM for respective location. 8. Which log type does the FortiAnalyzer indicators of compromise feature use to identify infected hosts? A. Antivirus logs. B. Web filter logs. C. IPS logs. D. Application control logs. 9. If you upgrade the FortiAnalyzer firmware, which report element can be affected? A. Custom datasets. B. Report scheduling. C. Report settings. D. Output profiles. 10. What is the main purpose of using an NTP server on FortiAnalyzer and all of its registered devices? A. Log correlation. B. Host name resolution. C. Log collection. D. Real-time forwarding.